Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the Legend of K anniversary for the Wii U by Nordic Games. So I'm kind of recording this before I've actually played it, but this is basically just going to be my experiences with the game. If you want any more kind of like in-depth review or anything like that, I would recommend possibly checking the description. I might have a link to another review or something like that. Possibly. If I remember to. Otherwise, just look up Legend of K review. I believe this was an old PS2 game that, yeah, I got this anniversary treatment for like modern consoles and Wii U. I got I got this at a GameStop a few years ago. Because, well, I just saw it, and at the time I was texting my friend, whose name is also K, and I mean, I just kind of had to like pick it up because of that. Also because anthropomorphic, or whatever, tiger, anthro characters. I really like anthro characters, even if they look really strange in this game. But yeah, I'm gonna play through it. I'm probably gonna have like this be in a couple of sections, a couple different kind of sections, like gameplay, story, visuals, that sort of thing. Probably just be using pictures for the most part, as I can't actually record gameplay, and I'm doing all this off my phone, so I can't download gameplay or anything like that. So that's another reason why you might want to look up another kind of review after this, just to get a better feel for what the game looks like and whatnot. But I will try to describe it to the best of my poor ability. So, let's just get right into this with either story or gameplay, whichever I decide to do first after I play the game. Real quick, I just want to say, I really like this little title screen here. It's got this like nice kind of music going on, and I like how it you just like see the town and like some of like the folks and whatnot, like the NPCs. I think it's a nice little title screen. So yeah, this is also a nice song. Okay, yeah, that's just all I wanted to say. Let's talk about the story first, real quick. It's actually pretty simple. So there's these cats, hares, frogs, and pandas who would worship these wells that were made of like this certain kind of stone. And eventually, they kind of, I think they just like stopped worshiping the wells or something like that, and they eventually dried up. And then like these rats and gorillas came in and just kind of like took over the whole land, and they're after they're after the stone that's made out of the wells for some big experiment kind of thing. They call it like an ultimate weapon, but it doesn't really seem like a weapon at the end of the game. It's like for immortality, as like the uh, bad guy says, as like he like turns into like this giant mutant creature. But we'll get into that. So yeah, there's these two enemies, Tak, who is a rat, and Shun, who is a gorilla. They're the main bad guys of this game. And you're Kay, this cat warrior, who goes on a quest to stop them and save the land. That's pretty much the story. You just go to these four lands of the cats, which where you start out at. Then you go to the hares and you help free them. Then you go to the frogs, you help free them. Then you go to the pandas, you free them, and then you storm the volcano island of the main bad guys. And after you beat them, you leave and get a nice little happy ending. Overall, it's a It's a fine enough ending. The only real thing of note is Tack and his voice. If you've seen, I believe it's the Princess Bride, there's a priest in that movie who talks funny, and that is how Tack talks. It's pretty amusing for the most part. So, in terms of the sound design, it's kind of like the music is kind of like Kung Fu Panda. If you've seen those movies, they're very. I don't know how to describe the music. They're just very good. If you've seen those movies, you should probably know what I'm talking about. It's just very nice, relaxing music. And like when it goes into like the combat, it's like it's like a nice like a fight kind of music. I'm not really good at describing music. I can just pretty much tell you if I like it or not. And in this case, I do like it. I think the sound effects and whatnot are fine enough for what they are. I don't think they're anything too special. And the voice acting. There's these little comic book style cutscenes. I think the voice acting is just fine in those. But in the in-game cutscenes, I think that for some reason it's just everyone just sounds like so bad, except for like Tack and the Master. Like they sound fine, but like everyone else, I don't like how they sound in the cutscenes. Especially the frogs. They really got on my nerves. I'll show you a brief clip I recorded off my phone of that at the. Actually, screw it right now. I'll show that, and then we'll just like talk about the gameplay and stuff. So the gameplay is really divided up into a few things. There's the combat, there's the platforming, and then there's the riding animals. You ride a boar, a wolf, and a dragon for like some mini games and stuff. And those are all fine enough. They're kind of easy at first, but as you go on, those little sections get progressively harder, and I think they're actually quite fun. And you can replay them all, except for like the dragon one. I don't think you can replay that one for coins. But the other ones, like the wolves and the boars, you can redo and yeah, try to get more money out of them. As for the platforming, it is a large portion of the game. You'll be platforming a lot in this game, and I think it is quite fun. In fact, I think it's the most enjoyable part of the game, with the riding of the animals being second. So you'll be doing a whole bunch of things. You'll be like dodging like fire, or like when like spikes come out of the ground. You'll always be like on your toes. There'll be like platforms that'll like break when you go on them. You'll have to like go through like little tiny like platforms, like hopping like to them. You'll be like swinging off of like vines and like ropes. There'll be like platforms that like go into like or like come out of the ground and go back under. You'll have to like you'll have to like swim, but you have like a little meter of like how long you can swim for. So you'll have to get to like land, or like these little great things to get your meter back up. There's like a whole bunch of stuff that you'll be doing while platforming, and I think it really helps like keep the game like fresh. During the dragon level, because there's two dragons in the game, one that you ride and one that you go into the lair of. You'll be dodging this dragon 3 times, like his giant fireballs. And the first time it was pretty easy. You just like hop across like some platforms and dodge the fireballs. And like the second time, I think it's like a little bit harder. Then the third time, the platform, actually the second time, I think the platform, there is like one or like two platforms that move, and you kind of just gotta like dodge over the fireballs and whatnot, get to the other side. But the third one, there's a whole bunch of platforms going, coming at you, and you gotta like jump on them like from like one to the next. And I think there's like a few rows of them, so you gotta like hop like other rows as well, and while you're also like dodging fireballs, and stuff like that's like pretty fun. I think I think the platforming is the best part of the game, and I think you'll have if you like platforming, I think you will actually really end up enjoying this game. But for the combat, you have three weapons. You have a sword, you have claws, and you have a hammer, which you don't get until like late into the game. And the sword is probably the best weapon. The claws are good for like armored enemies like spiders and stuff like that. And the hammer is really only good for bosses due to how long it takes you to swing it. And the combat is it's fairly it's okay. I'm not really sure just how to describe it correctly, but it's you have like a sort of like combo system. When you like kill an enemy or like take out like I think like all their armor, a little combo thing will appear, and you can like hop from like enemy to enemy and like hit them for like a good amount of damage, which is especially helpful in the beginning of the game when your sword is pretty weak. And I think for the most part, as you get stronger weapons, the combat does get a bit better, as well as more heart containers that you get, so that you can survive longer. And you can also purchase or find armors. There's 3 in total. There's a green one. I think it's like a jade that gives you like 5 extra hit points. There's a red one that gives you 10. Then there's this black dragon armor that gives you. Actually, I didn't get it on this playthrough, but I believe it probably would give you 15 hit points, which is the maximum amount of hit points that you can have. I ended this game with 14 out of 15, but I think I did max out my mana. And the mana in this game is really not too good. Basically, you just kind of like hold down the attack button and you shoot lightning out at the enemies. Only don't do it with the hammer, because it takes way too long and you're just like wide open for attacks. I would really recommend just doing it with the claws, as it takes the least amount of time with them. The sword as well, it just takes a bit too long to be able to do it. Just gotta wind it up and then hit them with it, and it's just, they can still hit you during it, and you can really just get beat down almost into a stun lock because of it. It happened to me near the end of the game during this big gauntlet of enemies. It's not really all that fun, but for the most part, as long as you keep an eye out for getting new weapons and whatnot, you should be fine. Especially if you also use the combo thing, you should be fine till near the end of the game, when it actually starts getting a lot harder. For the most part, this game is actually pretty easy. Though I wouldn't say it gets fun until the dragon level, where you're in his den and whatnot, platforming and whatnot. I'd say at that point is where the game gets fun. I think it's the 3rd or 4th level in the game. There's also these little cat statues that you can find around the level, and at first they're just optional that you can do to help you out, either getting money or opening up a path to some neat treasure. But I think starting in the swamp, some of them will actually be mandatory, and then like later on in the city with the pandas, and later in the on the volcano island and stuff, you will actually like have to like go after them to progress. Which I found a bit odd considering as they were optional at first, but maybe it was just to like ease you into that whole idea of like being able to like uh, just like go after them and whatnot. Yeah, overall, I think this is a fun game. I played on hard mode for this, and I think you'll have a nice time with it if you like the platforming, and if you can like get over the not so good combat. I think you'll have a fun enough time. And just to quickly go over the bosses. For the most part, they're all pretty easy. The only one I had a problem with was the second phase of the final boss. But for the most part, you just dodge the attack and then wait for the glowing weak point. Only two of them are different from that, and they're not even really like that different. They don't have glowing weak spots. You just gotta like wait for them to like appear, do an attack, then you just gotta like quickly hit them before they can go back to their either hiding or like behind a shield. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, like I said, it's a fun enough game. I think it's I think it's for Switch, PS4, and Xbox as well as Wii U. So if you can pick it up on like one of those consoles, I would definitely go for it. It's a it's a nice game. You know, it's got a whole bunch of different levels. It's got like a nice variety of enemies. Yeah, I'd say it's worth your time if you're interested in it. What you doing, Umber? Oh, you made it. Took you like a minute of going back and forth. But you did it. You fat bastard.